Hi. So, if you are watching this video, you may need a little help with activity number 11 on Unit 4, solving equations with rational numbers, or maybe you just want to check and see if you're doing things right. So, let's go ahead and start our review. This is our very last activity before our final assessment over solving equations. You guys have done awesome with your hard work. Keep in mind that you've kind of gotten to the habit of checking your answers and having the computer tell you if you're right or not. Well, on your assessment, it's not going to tell you if you're right. So, right here, it says, heads up, slides 6 through 9 will not tell you if your answer is correct. So, the last four questions, it's not going to tell you if you're right or not. So, put it in anyway. Go with your gut, go with what you know is right, follow the exact same process. Let's get started. Now, I'm going to tell you, kind of preempt myself a little bit. I am recording this from home, and so I'm not on the big board. So my handwriting on the screen might be a little sloppy because I'm trying to use my touch screen on my computer, and it's not always super friendly. So be patient with me. This first question, I get a lot of questions about. If you were to look at that, think about what you might get confused about right away. Yep, there is no number right here in front of the parentheses. However, there is a number, they're just hiding it. So what number do we put in algebra that we don't have to write because it's assumed and it's not 0? The only number we don't have to write in algebra most of the time is the number 1. So that's actually not a negative by itself. It's actually representing a negative 1. So we can put the negative 1 there and we can rewrite the equation like this. Negative 1, parentheses, x plus 4 is equal to negative 8. Then we would solve this the same way, negative 1 groups. Now, we talked last week about how it is negative 1 groups, but really what it's meaning is taking the number in front, taking this negative 1 and distributing it or multiplying it by both things inside the parentheses. So negative 1 times x and negative 1 times 4. That should be a times, not a plus. Let's rewrite that. Don't forget to always multiply that number in front by the second number as well. So negative 1 times x gives me negative 1x. Negative 1 times 4 gives me a negative 4. I don't need to put the plus. And then equals our negative 8. Now I have a two-step equation. What can I undo? Yep, first thing I should undo is this minus right here. And I undo a minus with a plus. And what's being subtracted? Well, that 4 is being subtracted, so I'm going to add it. If I add 4 to the left, you got it. Got to add 4 to the right. I get to cross these out whenever I use the inverse. That means I do it so that I can eliminate that because they equal 0. Negative 8 plus 4. Be very careful here, please, people. Check that because it's not going to be 12 and it's not going to be negative 12. When I check that, I'm going to type in negative 8 plus 4. Yep, it's going to be a negative 4. So now I've got negative 1x equals a negative 4. We write that negative 1 to remind me I can't end with a negative variable. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. So I can go negative 4 divided by negative 1, and it's going to give me a positive 4. Great job. Clap your hands. Good job. All right. Next one. We hate fractions, but don't worry. Why? The fraction calculator is going to do it for you. If you had to mess with a fraction, this is the one I would want, 1/2. Because really, I'm just cutting numbers in half when I multiply by a half. I'll show you what I mean. If I have the number 6 and I have to multiply by a half, 1/2 times 6, whoops, click out of the fraction, Mrs. Lease, times the 6, yep, half of 6 is 3, so I just cut the number in half. So remember, still have this fraction out here, still going to distribute it to both things inside. So the first thing is 1/2 times the 6x. Then I have to do 1/2 times, that's a negative 20. You're right. Good job. I already did the 1/2 times the 6, and that gave me a 3. So I've got the 3. Do not forget to put the x. You're going to get confused if you do. So I've got the 3x there. And now I'm going to go and do the 1/2 times the negative 20. Can you guess what that would be? Half of 6. I cut 6 in half and got 3. Can you guess what 1/2 of 20 is going to be? I bet you're right. Yep. 1/2 of 20 is 10. Now here's the thing. That wasn't a positive 20. That was a negative 20. So I'm going to put a negative 10. I don't need to write the plus. Now bring down my 50. Two-step equation, easy peasy, right? What am I going to undo? I'm going to undo the 10 by adding it. If I add 10 to the left, got to add 10 over here. Get to cross those out because they're 0. 50 plus 10 is 60. Bring down my 3x. That should be an x, not a y. Stop it, computer. Oh my goodness, people. See, I'm at home and it doesn't want to cooperate. All right. And then final step. Yeah, 60 divided by 3. All right. Type that in. Check your answer. Good job, people. All right. Now, no more fractions. What do we have? Decimals. Yep. So let's take that 3. We're going to multiply it by that. And we're going to multiply it by that. So 3 times 0.25x and 3 times, yep, that's a negative 1.6. Good job. Let's open up our handy dandy calculator. We get 0.75. All right. And then 3 times negative 1.6. We go negative 4.8 equals 9. Two-step equation. Man, we love distributive property because all it does is take us to a two-step equation. What am I going to undo? Going to undo the minus, make it a, yep, plus. And I'm going to be adding 4.8. So 9 plus 4.8 gives me 13.8. Bring down my 0.75x. So answer, yep. And the final thing we're going to do is, yep, divide by 0.75. Answer divided by 0.75. No, Mrs. Lease, what did you do wrong? Answer divided by, there we go, 18.4. Type it in. Are we right? Woohoo! All right. I did not make all of them distributive property. There's a good amount in there. But these are the rest of your problems. So don't forget, this one, don't let it be scary. It's a two-step equation. What are you going to undo first? Yep, I would undo the addition. What are you going to add? What are you going to undo with addition? We're going to subtract. And what are you going to be subtracting? Yep, subtract this number right here. Question 7, don't forget, where's the equal sign? Equal sign's right here. So we've got everything on one side. What can I smush together? Well, hopefully you're recognizing I can smush this 2.4x. What else am I going to smush it with? Yep, I'm going to smush it with this 1.8, except circle the number in front of the sign in front of the 1.8. Why? Because that tells me I need to do 2.4x minus the 1.8x. Okay, because of that minus in front. Also, don't forget, when you bring down your 10.24, look at the sign right in front of the 10.24. It's also a minus. And then number 8, distributing a negative, but it's a negative 1/2, so cut the numbers in half, but remember it's negative. And then on the very last one, find your equal sign. On each side, there's nothing to smush together, so you'll start undoing something. Okay, what can you take off of both sides? Slide 9, 8, 7, and 6 are not going to tell you if they're right or wrong, no matter what you type in. Now, I could type in 150, which is not the right answer. But if I type in 150, it just says thank you, move on. It's okay. Check your answer. I just want to see if you're confident enough and you can do it on your own. When you finish all this, make sure you've shown all of your work. If you chose to do it on paper, make sure you hand that paper in. If you chose to do it on your screen, take screenshots and turn them in. This is a grade. Hopefully I will be back tomorrow. Have a good day. Happy equation solving.